Hi guys, Mr. Cameron here. We're going to take another look at a new shared reading video. So let's take a look at the picture here on the front cover. What can you see? Yeah, I can see a stamp in the top right hand corner. Let's see if I can draw around it. There we go. So we've got a stamp. We've also got a bit of a postage stamp here giving you an address. So that's Devon in Plymouth. So what does the picture look like if it's got a stamp and an address on it? Yeah, it looks like a letter, doesn't it? Okay, so a letter. Now, a letter is usually begun in the same way. So we've got a word here. It says dear, and we've got a new word here. Let's break it into words that we can recognize. So green, and then peace, Greenpeace. Dear Greenpeace. Oh, so it looks like they're writing a letter to an organization called Greenpeace. And we know the Greenpeace part is an organization because it starts with a capital G and it's not the beginning of a sentence. So if you don't know what Greenpeace is, it's a group or an organization that tries to protect the planet and the creatures that live on it. So Greenpeace is most famous for trying to protect the whales that we have in the seas and other such things. So let's see what the story is about. Let's go to the first page. Okay, so before we actually start the first page, we've got some sight words that I want to go through because they're going to appear in the text and we just need to recognize them. So the first one is 1. So that's the number 1. Second one, my. Now the next one, we've got 2 is the sight word, but it's a word within a word. So the second part is day, today. Then we've got me, some, he, and be. So we've got 1, my, today, me, some, he, and be. See if we can find those words on the first page. So here's the first page, and up at the top, we've got those words that we were looking at. So let's see if we can locate 1. So where's 1? Where's 1? Scan through, put your finger on the word as soon as you see it. 1. There it is. I'll quickly highlight it. All right. Next we've got my. Same as before. Put your finger on the page, scan through until you find it. My. Highlighted at the top so you can see it. There it is. My. On the same line. Right. Now we're looking for today. So I'm going to highlight the to part, but it's a part of a bigger word. Today. Scan through. Starts with a t. When you found it, put your finger on it. There we are, today. Okay, me. See if you can find me. Yeah, I can see it as well. It's on the same line as today. Some. Can you find the word some? Begins with a s. Scan through, put your finger on it when you found it. Yep, right next to me. He. Can you see he? Yep, I found it as well. It's on the last line. And lastly, be. See if you can find be. Yeah, well done, well done. It's also on the last line, be. Okay, so now that we've found those sight words, let's see if we can read through the text. Now, the first 2 words are the ones that we read on the title page. So, dear, and then Greenpeace. Dear Greenpeace, I love, oh, that's a hard word, So I'm going to change color and I'll highlight it up for you. That word is whales. We spoke about that on the front cover, didn't we? Whales. So it's a type of creature that lives in the sea, huge creatures. I love whales very much, and I think I saw one in my pond today. try and read that line again. Dear Greenpeace, I love whales very much and I think I saw one in my pond today. Please send me some information. Please send me some information on, let's highlight that word we saw again, whales, as I think he might be hurt. Let's read that sentence again. Please send me some information on whales as I think he might be hurt. Love, Emily. Let's try and read the whole thing together again. Dear Greenpeace, I love whales very much and I think I saw one in my pond today. Please send me some information on whales as I think he might be hurt. Love, Emily. That's interesting. What do you know about whales? Yeah, they are very big creatures. Are they really small enough to live in a pond like in that picture? No, I don't think so either. You can see from the tail in the picture that he looks a bit too big to live in that pond. God, I hate my voice. Okay, so before we go on to the next page, let's take a look at the sight words that I think are going to pop up. So the first word we've got is are. Second word starts with a s. The word is some. The third word, it's a word within a word. So the sight word itself is out, but the first bit is about is the word about. The next one, we've got the same thing. So we've got a sight word within a bigger word. And this word is a funny thing called a contraction. It's when you get two words pushed together. And we've got an apostrophe, that funny little mark up there that shows you where the two words are joined. So we've got you and we've got all. You'll, which is a contraction of the two words you will. So you will, we can shorten to you'll. And the last word is was. Let's see if we can find them on the next page. Okay, so again, got those words right at the top, if you can see them. Let's highlight them off and find them in the text. So first word we're looking for is are. Scan through, put your finger on it when you found it. Yeah, I can see it as well. There's are. Now we're looking for some. Scan through, put your finger on it. You're looking for a word that starts with s. Well done, it's right next to are. About, with that sight word out in it. So you're looking for a word that starts with a. Scan through, put your finger on it when you found it. Well done, all on the same line. Lots of tricky sight words. Now we're looking for you'll. Remember, the sight word is you, but it's a part of a contraction. Scan through, put your finger on it when you found it. You're looking for a word that starts with y. Well done, it's on the line underneath. Last word we're after, was. Can you find was? It starts with a w. Now there's a few words that start with w. You're looking for that short word. Scan through, remember the words at the top if you can't remember it. Yeah, well done. It's on the line underneath. Was. Now I'm also going to highlight off that tricky word that we saw on the previous page and the title page. We've got whale and whales. Yeah. So let's read through, see if we can understand. So, dear Emily, here are some details. That's a hard word. Details. So it's details. Details about whales. I'll just highlight that off because I missed it. Read the sentence again. Dear Emily, here are some details about whales. I don't think you'll that's a hard one. Find. You can't really sound it out properly. I don't think you'll find it was a whale you saw, because whales don't live in ponds, but in salt water. Let's read that sentence again. I don't think you'll find it was a whale you saw, because whales don't live in ponds, but in salt water. Yours, oh, that is a tricky word there. Let's highlight it. Sincerely. Yours sincerely, Greenpeace. Okay, let's read through the entire thing together. Dear Emily, here are some details about whales. I don't think you'll find it was a whale you saw, because whales don't live in ponds, but in salt water. Yours sincerely, Greenpeace. Have you noticed how the style of writing has changed? We call it the font. On the previous page, when Emily was writing, it looked like she'd written in pencil. But this time, the words look like they've been typed out, and they also look like they're leaning over slightly. We call that in italics. Who do you think the letter's from? Yeah, you're right. It says it at the bottom, Greenpeace. And because it's got that capital letter in the middle of a sentence, you know it's got to be a proper noun. Yeah, it's talking about the organisation, the group that's writing back to her. So when Greenpeace is writing to Emily, they've typed it up on a computer and it's written in italics. When Emily's writing, you know that she's writing in pencil. It looks like her handwriting. Okay, next page now. Let's look through these sight words. So the first one is the. It's a word we should all be familiar with, the. Next, we've got my, he, do, you, which we saw on the previous page with that contraction, and be. So the, my, he, do, you, and be. See if we can find them in the text. All right, so the first word we're after is the. It's Miss Allison. See if you can find the. Very good. Yeah, it's on the first line. Next, my. Can you find my? Starts with an M. Find my. Scan through. Put your finger on it when you found it. Very good. There's my. I see it. My. Next, he. Can you find he? Starts with a H. Scan through. So remember, when you're scanning, you're putting your finger at the top of the text and you're just going straight down. You're not reading the entire thing. You're just trying to find that word. He. Yeah, I see it. Do. Can you find do? Now, because these words are in not alphabetical order, but in order of appearance, you know it's going to be underneath somewhere. Do. Can you find do? Yeah, bit of a tricky one there, because do is starting a sentence. So it's not a lowercase letter like you can see in the example up above. It's capital letter. Now we're looking for you. Not you, we're looking for the word you. Yeah, right next to do. And lastly, we've got be. Be. Not the insect. Well done. And as we were doing it, you might have noticed that he, which is a sight word we were highlighting before, is appearing more than once in the text. So I'm going to highlight that off as well. Okay, now that we've found all our sight words, see if we can read it. The first two words should be familiar because they're words that have appeared in every single page, apart from the last one. So, dear Greenpeace, I am now putting salt into the pond every day before school, and last night I saw my whale. Let's highlight it off in yellow because it's that word that keeps on appearing. Whale smile. Let's read it together again because that was quite a long sentence. Dear Greenpeace, I am now putting salt into the pond every day before school, and last night I saw my whale smile. Next line. I think he is feeling better. Nice short sentence. Read it again. I think he is feeling better. Do you think he might be lost? Do you think he might be lost? Love, Emily. Let's read the whole thing together in one go. Dear Greenpeace, I am now putting salt into the pond every day before school, and last night I saw my whale smile. I think he is feeling better. Do you think he might be lost? Love, Emily. Notice that funny bit of punctuation at the end, a question mark. My voice went up at the end because you're asking a question. Why is Emily putting salt into her pond? That's right. On the previous page, the response from Greenpeace, they explained that whales live in salt water. So Emily decided to put some table salt into the pond to help the whale survive. That's nice of her. Okay, so we've got a new set of sight words here for us now. Let's see if we can go through them. So the first one, you've seen it a couple of times now, the. Next we've got be. New one for us here, their. Then they and are. So we've seen three of those before. We've seen the, be, and are before. Our new ones are their and they. See if we can find them in the text. So, again, as always, I've put those words up at the top of the page. Yeah, let's see if we can find them. First one is the. Scan through the text, put your finger on it when you found it. Yeah, I can see the. Now, the is a really common word. Let's see if it pops up again anywhere. Keep on scanning, keep on scanning. No, thankfully, it only appears once this time. So, be, let's find be. Starts with a B. Finger at the top of the page, scan down the page. Yeah, I can see it. Be. Now we're looking for there. Remember, I put these words in order of appearance, so it's probably going to come underneath the words that we've already found. See if you can find there. Put your finger on it when you found it. Yeah, I see it. They. Next, they. Very good. I can see they. Now, it's appearing twice in this text. Can you find the second they? Yeah, there we are. Last one for us, are. Are. Starts with an a. Well, starts with a digraph, are, to be honest with you. But let's see if you can find it. Yeah, it was right next to that second they. Now, I'll continue to highlight off words that we're familiar with. Whales. And also, sincerely. Very tricky word. You notice the Greenpeace keep on signing off their letters with sincerely at the end. Let's read through together. Dear Emily, please don't put any more salt in the pond. Now the next word is a contraction. I'm, yeah, because it's a combination of I and am. I'm sure your parents won't be pleased. Let's read through that sentence again. Dear Emily, please don't put any more salt in the pond. I'm sure your parents won't be pleased. I'm afraid there can't be a whale. Let's highlight that off. Whale in your pond because whales don't get lost. They always know where they are in the tricky word there for you. Oceans like a big sea. Let's read through that again. I'm afraid there can't be a whale in your pond because whales don't get lost. They always know where they are in the oceans. Yours sincerely, Greenpeace. All right. We just read through that part again, but let's read through the entire thing just to get it into our heads. Dear Emily, please don't put any more salt in the pond. I'm sure your parents won't be pleased. I'm afraid there can't be a whale in your pond because whales don't get lost. They always know where they are in the oceans. Yours sincerely, Greenpeace. So Emily put some salt in her pond, didn't she? Now she put the salt in the pond because Greenpeace said that whales like to live in salt water, so she was trying to do a nice thing. Why shouldn't Emily put salt in her pond? Yeah, because it might upset her parents. Greenpeace even said, I'm sure your parents won't be pleased. Okay, new set of words now. Got a long one to start us off. So it's a word within a word. The sight word is to. Second part is night, tonight. My, he, be, and what. So tonight, my, he, be, and what. Let's go hunting for them. So again, those words are right at the top of the page, all the way up there, you can see them. So let's find tonight to start off with. Tonight. It's a long word. Scan through, put your finger on it when you found it. Bit of a tricky one because it's going to start with a capital letter in the text. Yeah, right at the beginning. Tonight. Now let's find my. Can you see my? Finger on the page, scan all the way down. You're looking for words starting with m. Yeah, there we go, right underneath tonight. He next. See if you can find he. Remember, I put the words in order of appearance, so it's going to be past my. He. It's a tricky one. Again, in the text, it's going to start with a capital letter. Yeah, it's the next sentence. Be. Find be. Very good. There's be, and you might notice that he has appeared more than once. I'll highlight that as well. Last one. What. What. Again, a bit of a tricky one because it can start with a capital letter. Yeah, right at the end, right at the end. Next to the letters PS. Does anyone know what PS means or what it's for? Yeah, PS you usually put at the end of a letter. It's extra information. If you forgot to ask a question and you don't want to write the entire thing again, you just add PS. All right, let's read through the text together. So, dear Greenpeace, tonight I am very happy because I saw my whale, and let's highlight it in yellow because it's a word that keeps on appearing. Whale jump up and spurt lots of water. Now spurt's a bit of a funny one. Spurt is when sea creatures, they sometimes spit out water. So the whale is spitting out water from the top of his head. You can see that in the picture. Next line. He looked blue. Does this mean he might be a blue whale? Highlight whale again. Let's read the entire, oh no, let's keep on going. Love, Emily. P.S. What can I feed him with? Let's read the entire thing. Dear Greenpeace, tonight I am very happy because I saw my whale jump up and spurt lots of water. He looked blue. Does this mean he might be a blue whale? Love, Emily. P.S. What can I feed him with? Now, I gave you an explanation, but what does spurt mean? So I'll highlight it a different colour to show us again. Spurt. What does spurt mean? Yeah, spurt is when you spit out that water. So the whale is spurting water outside the top of his head. Now, a whale is a type of mammal. That means it needs air to breathe. It can't breathe underwater. So when the whale is swimming along, it might find something to eat. It opens its mouth and it sucks up that food. But it also sucks up the water that the food is living in. Now, the whale cannot swallow that water and it cannot breathe that water. So when it goes to the surface to get more air, it spits out the water that's in its mouth so it can then breathe in air. That's clever. Alright, new set of sight words. Let's figure them out. So the first one is are, they, new one here, like, the, and you. Now this one here, like, we can actually sign out. So it's like, because it's a split diagraph. Are, they, like, the, and you. Almost makes a sentence, doesn't it? Let's see if we can find them. So again, the words are right at the top of the page. Let's go through them. First one we're looking for, are. So scan through. Finger at the top of the page, going down until you can find it. Are. Yeah, I see it. First line, are. Next, we're looking for they. You see they? Starts with a th, even though you can't hear it. They. Very good. Like. Like. Yeah, like. Almost hard to spot because it's a word that's been joined with a hyphen there. That was like. The. Pops up all the time. The. There we go. The. Last one, you. Can you see you? Very good. You. Don't need to see it, but I'm going to say you also appears in this word, but it's your. Now let's highlight off whale because we've seen that before. And whale up here as well. Right, let's try and read through. So we should be familiar with the words at the top. Dear Emily, blue whales are blue and they eat tiny shrimp-like creatures that live in the sea. However, I must tell you that a blue whale is much too big to live in your pond. Now, let's try and read through it properly. Dear Emily, blue whales are blue and they eat tiny shrimp-like creatures that live in the sea. However, I must tell you that a blue whale is much too big to live in your pond. Yours sincerely, Greenpeace. P.S. Perhaps it is a blue goldfish. P.S. Perhaps it is a blue goldfish. Let's read the entire thing. Dear Emily, blue whales are blue and they eat tiny shrimp-like creatures that live in the sea. However, I must tell you that a blue whale is much too big to live in your pond. Yours sincerely, Greenpeace. P.S. Perhaps it is a blue goldfish. What do blue whales eat? They're very big creatures. So you'd imagine they might eat big food. What does the text tell you that blue whales eat? I'll highlight it off for you. They eat tiny shrimp-like creatures. So tiny shrimp-like creatures, they're minuscule, about the size of the gap between my fingers. Itty bitty. So if a whale is massive, almost the size of a school in some instances, how many shrimp do you think they have to eat? Yeah, they eat hundreds, if not thousands, with every gulp they take. Okay, we've got quite a long list of words now, so let's go through them. My, he, me, was, some, the, they, were, all, what, do, you. Now, even though it's a long list of words, we have covered the vast majority of them with previous pages. There's only a few new ones. So my, he, me, was, some, the, they, were, all, what, do, and you. See if we can find them in the text. As always, the words are right at the top of the page. Let's scan through and locate them. My, first word is my. And you found it, put your finger on it. Yeah, there it is in the first line. He. Very good, we can see it right there. Me. Remember, these are all in order of appearance, so if you found he, you should be able to find me after it somewhere. Yeah, me, same line. Was. Very good, there's was. Some, starts with s, some. There's more than one word that starts with s. Yeah, there we go. And the next sentence, some. The, is that word, always pops up, the. Yeah, there it is. They. Yep, same line as the. Were. Yep, I see it too, right next to it. All. Very good, well found. What. It's a question. Yeah, here's the last line. Do. Yep, it's right next to what and you. Well found. They're all next to each other, aren't they? Let's highlight off words that we're very familiar with. So do we have whale in there anywhere? Yeah, there it is, right at the top. So we know that one. Okay, let's read through together. Dear Greenpeace, last night I read your letter to my whale. Afterwards, long word, afterwards, he let me stroke his head. Afterwards, he let me stroke his head. It was very exciting. Tricky word here, secretly took him some crunched up cornflakes and bread crumbs. I secretly took him some crunched up cornflakes and breadcrumbs. This morning I looked in the pond and they were all gone. I think I shall call him Arthur. What do you think? Love, Emily. Let's read through the whole thing together. Dear Greenpeace, last night I read your letter to my whale. Afterwards, he let me stroke his head. It was very exciting. I secretly took him some crunched up cornflakes and breadcrumbs. This morning, I looked in the pond and they were all gone. I think I shall call him Arthur. What do you think? Love, Emily. Did the whale eat Emily's food? Yeah, he did eat it. How do you know? That's right, because Emily said, this morning I looked in the pond and they were all gone. Well, it could have been another animal that ate it, but I think we can agree it's probably the whale that had it. Okay, new set of sight words. So we've got out, to, you, no, are, they. And this one's not a sight word, but I'm putting it in there anyway. Great. See if we can find them. As always, the words are at the top of the page. Out's the first one we're looking for. Scan through, put your finger on the word when you found it. There it is, first line, out. Next, to. Now we're not going to waste time, it's right next to it. You, again, we're not going to waste time, it's right next to it. No. You find no? It's in the same sentence, but it's in the line underneath. Are. You find are? Yeah, here we are. Are. They. You find they. Remember, all the words in order of appearance, so it should be after it. They. Very good. Great. Great. Starts with a G. Yeah, same line. Great. Highlight off words that we think we should recognize. Whales. And there's whale up there as well. Right, let's see if we can read it. Dear Emily, I must point out to you quite forcibly now that in no way could a whale live in your pond. You may not know that whales are migratory, which means they travel great distances each day. You may not know that whales are migratory, which means they travel great distances each day. I am sorry to disappoint you. Yours sincerely, Greenpeace. Let's read through the whole thing. Dear Emily, I must point out to you quite forcibly now that in no way could a whale live in your pond. You may not know that whales are migratory, which means they travel great distances each day. I'm sorry to disappoint you. Yours sincerely, Greenpeace. What does migratory mean? I'll highlight it off for you. Migratory. What does migratory mean? I think the answer is going to be in that same sentence. Yeah, it says, I'll highlight this as well, which means they travel great distances each day. So when you migrate, you're moving from one place to another. So the whales travel across the oceans looking for food. They don't live in one particular area. Okay, so we've got a nice short list of sight words now. We've got to, as in tonight, he, and be. Let's see if we can find them. So, first word we said is to, but remember it's a part of a bigger word. We're looking for to in tonight. See if you can find it. Yeah, there we go. There's to, tonight. He, find he next. There it is, he, and be. Can you find be? Very good, there's be. Right, let's read through the whole thing. Dear Greenpeace, tonight I'm little sad. Arthur has gone. I think your letter made sense to him, and he has decided to be migratory, tricky word, migratory again. Love, Emily. I'll read through the whole thing for you. Dear Greenpeace, Tonight I'm a little sad. Arthur has gone. I think your letter made sense to him and he has decided to be migratory again. Love, Emily. Why was Emily sad, do you think? Why is Emily sad? Yeah, it says Arthur has gone. I think Emily loved that whale, or loved having a whale in her pond. So Arthur going has made her sad. You set aside words, back to a longer list. So the first one is be, was, to, you, are, and the. Alright, so the words are at the top of the page. Let's go through them. Be. Can you find be? It starts with a b. Yeah, there is be. About was. Was. Yeah, there's was. To. Can you find to? Yep, slightly further down the page, there's to. I want you. You. Yeah. Above. That's confusing, isn't it? But it appears more than once. And there's another to, that's why it's confusing. Are. Can you find are? Yeah, there's are and the. Can you find the? Yeah, there we go. There's the. Alright, let's highlight off the words that we should be really familiar with now. So there's whale and whales. I'm also going to hire off sincerely, because we haven't really covered it much, but it's what Greenpeace have been finishing their letters with. It's a polite way, or a formal way, of ending a letter. Let's read through it together. Dear Emily, please don't be too sad. It really was impossible for a whale to live in your pond. Perhaps when you are older, you would like to sail the oceans, studying and protecting whales with us. Yours sincerely, Greenpeace. Let's read through that tricky bit of text together. Dear Emily, please don't be too sad. It really was impossible for a whale to live in your pond. Perhaps when you are older, you would like to sail the ocean studying and protecting whales with us. Yours sincerely, Greenpeace. How could Emily go about studying whales? What offer was put out for her? What could she do to go and study whales? That's right. She could go studying and protecting whales with Greenpeace. They've invited her, but only when she's older, because it's not really safe when she's a child. Wow, that's a lot of sight words. Let's go through them. Thankfully, we've covered the majority of them together anyway. So, the, to, you. This is a word within a word, so all, and it's called. He, was, me, some, and my. Let's find them. So words are at the top of the page. Let's find the to start off with. Yep, there we go. There's the. To next. Can you find to? Yep, it's after it. Oh, look, we've got another the as well. It does pop up quite a lot. You. Can you find you? Yeah, it's inside another word, isn't it? You'll. It's that contraction that we saw at the beginning of the story. Called. Yeah, there it is. There's called, he. Very good. It's on the same line. Was. Very good. There's was, and there's another he. Me. Can you find me? Yeah, there's me, some. Can you find some? Very good, there's some. And lastly, my. Can you spot my? Very good, there's my. Let's read through the text together. Dear Greenpeace, it's been the happiest day. I went to the seaside, and you'll never guess, but I saw Arthur. I called to him, and he smiled. I knew it was Arthur because he let me stroke his head. I gave him some of my sandwich. Let's read through the whole thing. Dear Greenpeace, it's been the happiest day. I went to the seaside, and you'll never guess, but I saw Arthur. I called to him, and he smiled. I knew it was Arthur because he let me stroke his head. I gave him some of my sandwich. How did Emily know it was Arthur? Yeah, if you look in the text, it says, I knew it was Arthur because he let me stroke his head. Yeah, if a whale comes out of the water to say hello, they don't usually come up and let you stroke them, so it must be familiar with her. It must be Arthur. Okay, last bit, guys. We've got we, said, and you. See if we can find them in the text. So, words are at the top. We're looking for we to start off with. Where's we? There it is. I can see it. Next, said. Can you spot said? Yeah, it's right next to it. You. Can you find you? There we go. You. Actually, there's a second one as well. There it is, highlighted off. Okay, let's read through this last bit together. And then we said goodbye. Goodbye. I shouted that I loved him very much, and I hope you don't mind. I said you loved him too. Love, Emily and Arthur. Let's read through the whole thing together. And then we said goodbye. I shouted that I loved him very much, and I hope you don't mind. I said you loved him too. Love, Emily and Arthur. How do you know Greenpeace love whales? Yeah, Greenpeace is an organisation that loves all animals. They protect and look after the planet. And we also know that they were a conservation group. That's a group of people that make sure that things don't run out. And they're talking about whales in this example. So they want to make sure that the whales don't die out and go extinct. That means there aren't any more in the world. So they must love them if they want to protect them. Thanks for reading.